If homeschool planning feels overwhelming, it's probably because you're trying to plan too much at one time. I do the same thing every single Saturday. That is my plan day. So when Saturday rolls around, I plan to spend about 20 minutes planning the following week. And it is much simpler than it looks, I promise you. So let me know in the comments, do you use an online planner or a paper planner? What kind of planner homeschool mom are you? I would love to know. Write it down in the comments so I can see what we all use. So planning isn't about perfection, it's more about clarity. And I want you to think this thought. We are not aiming for perfection in our homeschool plans, we're aiming for simplicity. And that's what's really helped me over the years. And I think because I used to teach and I used to have somebody actually come in and look at my lesson plans, at first this was really hard for me to get through my brain. I would try to perfect those lesson plans because I knew I had somebody else, my boss, looking at them and knowing that those would be critiqued. But in my homeschool, I am the boss. So I don't have to be so complex when I plan anymore. So here is the first big thing that I do. I always plan on the weekend rather than during the week. So I sit down every week with my books when the kids are not doing school, when, I don't have one kid running out the door to do his thing. And, I try to do this on the weekend where it's more calm and like there's not a lot of things going on and my brain can kind of think. Now, after that, one of the things that I do after I gather all my books and I have my tea, I try to close out the previous week. So that means I am updating attendance records, I'm grading any papers, I'm logging those grades, anything that I didn't do during the week, which I do try to do a lot of that during the week so I don't spend an hour on Saturday doing plans. I don't want to lose an hour of my weekend. But what I do try to do is do the catch-up stuff first so I don't feel behind. So I usually spend just a few minutes making sure that I have the attendance record updated for the state on their paper, and then I go through any tests, make sure I log those, update anything like that, it only takes a few minutes. The next thing I do is I check the calendar. What is going on the upcoming week? Because if I'm gonna be gone a whole day, or if I have an appointment out of town, I'm gonna have to shift around a few things. So I always check our family calendar, which I keep on my refrigerator. I don't have one of those fancy command centers that a lot of people have on social media and Pinterest and stuff, because I don't have the room in my house for that. We live in quite a small house and I just don't have the room for a full command center. So I have just a simple calendar on my refrigerator that has all of our things that we have to do outside of the house or important things that we have to remember, and I will make the schedule around that family calendar. So now that all that is done, the records are updated and I have all of my books out and I know what's going on during the week, then I can sit down and I can plan. Now, I want you to remember this. I only do one subject at a time. And that keeps everything realistically simple for me as I'm going through the entire process. If I try to plan a whole bunch of things at one time, I'm gonna get confused and it's just a mess. So I go one box at a time, and that's really simple with the planner that I have. So the planner that I use is the Mardell Simple Plan Planner. I love this because when I was a school teacher, this was the closest thing to what I was used to. Love the Simple Plan Planner. They are my favorite. I am not a digital planner type of gal. I've tried them. I don't like them. I know a lot of you like them. Whatever planner you have is fine. So there's 6 subjects that you can write down the side, and then you have 5 days across, and then each box has 6 lines in them. So you could actually plan for up to 6 kids in here or more, however you want to do it. But there's plenty of room for whatever is going on, and I write kind of big, so I like that planner. So I get out that planner and I just go one box at a time. Starting at the top, I start with Bible and I write in anything that we're going to be doing that week. I usually use the Bible box for any type of Bible reading that we're doing, specifically whatever we're doing for our family time. I use our character stuff that goes in the Bible as well. I use character stuff from Generations because I use the core packs from Generations. That all goes in that box. And then I just go down the line. I do history and math and, biology. All of that stuff goes in there. And speaking of biology, the next thing that I do is I check our labs. So once I have everything filled out, one of the things that I do next is I check labs, because I'm terrible at this. I've told you guys this in like a million videos. I am really bad about the labs. So we're using the Apologia Biology self-paced curriculum. So that is an online course you can take. They're self-paced, so they're not live courses. The videos are all on there. The lab videos are all on there. I love that. So he just sits at the computer with his notebook. And one of the things that I love about this is the schedule is already done in here. I just kind of have to transfer it over to my planner. So you can kind of see, this is the schedule here, and it will tell you like what experiments and stuff they're doing. So this week, I'm so glad I looked at this on Saturday, because he has not one, not two, but 4 experiments this week. I'm so glad that I looked at that. So I have to make sure that we have everything in order. So what I do is I get the lab kits from Nature's Workshop Plus. I've been doing that for years. I love them. They have boxes for all the Apologia labs. And in those lab kits, they have all the stuff that you need. The only things that they don't have are like perishable items and like a pot or a pan of water. Like, you know what I mean. Things that are going to be easily found in your house, like water or a pot. Now, the other things, this saves me a lot of time and money because I don't have to order the things. I don't have to go to the store for the things. I know that they're already in that box, so it saves me a lot of time on Saturday. So on Saturdays when I'm planning, I go ahead and I grab the little bag that has the module number on this. So this one, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it says module 10 on it, and it has all the things listed that are in this package. So we're starting module 10 today on Monday. And it has everything that I need in here for those 4 different labs. So I get out our little lab kit package and I set it aside and have it ready to go. And this is going to be really important because on Tuesday I have 2 of those 4 labs, and I think on Thursday or Friday we have the other 2. So I go ahead and I set those out so they're ready to go for my son. So another thing that I made sure that I looked at this week was our IEW teacher book. And I flipped ahead to the week that we are in. We're in week 21 this week. And I saw this week that the theme is Treasure Island. And we're still kind of in like this pirates section. Last week we did some stuff on pirates, so this week we're kind of continuing that, and our writing assignment is going to be from passages from Treasure Island, and it also recommended The Princess Bride as a movie if you have time, not as like a thing you have to do, but it's like one of those like extra things you can add to your school. That's one of our favorite movies as a family, and The Princess Bride is one of my top 5 favorite books. It is awesome. If you haven't read it, totally read that book. Super funny. So I might add that because it's been snowpocalypse going on here recently. We didn't get any snow, we only got rain, but it's just dreary. I don't know if you can tell by the lighting, it's just so gross outside, and it's gross and it's cold, and there's gonna be no playing outside. So I think this might be a great week to add in The Princess Bride as an extra to our IEW. So one of these things that I wanna stress here, this does not take very long, but 10 minutes on the weekend can really make or break my whole week coming up. If I don't have this stuff planned out, it can really throw my whole week for a loop. And I have had those weeks where I just did not have time to plan, and it just kind of throws everything out of whack, and I feel behind, and I don't like it. So I want you to remember, just write in simple things. Just make it to where, like, if you can open up your book and kind of see at a glance what's going on, you know when the tests are, you know what days you have different labs for science, or maybe different online meetings for your child. Like, we have one class for him that like he meets once a week with his class on Zoom for a literature course. You know, just having that like glance to know what's going on in your week, and you can kind of tell your child at the beginning of the week, like, hey, don't forget you have a test in this course and this course. Especially for high schoolers, I feel like they have so much more going on with sports and scholarships and like all of the major classes. Like their brains can get stuffed very easily and kind of overwhelmed with all of the things. So I feel like sometimes it's just a good reminder to have that, you know, for them and kind of help them along sometimes. Even though we want them to be independent, we also don't want to throw them to the wolves either. So, you know, I'm here as the teacher to help, and that is my job. And I feel like me kind of planning ahead a little bit not only helps me, but it also helps my son. That is my video. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I love when you guys join me, and I appreciate all of you so very much. If you haven't yet, I would really appreciate if you would like and subscribe to my channel, because it helps me out and it helps you out because you get all my cool homeschool stuff. I will see y'all in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy homeschooling.